Did you miss Will Smith on set? Do you guys still keep in touch?
He's such a terrible person, you know. I'm so glad not to. No.
Olá, eu estou aqui com o presidente dos Estados Unidos, senhor Bill Pullman. Hi, Mr. Bill, how are you?
Very good.
How did it feel to return to the sets of Independence Day 20 years later?
Well, it was exciting to be able to think I would be able to return to the set of Independence Day. Maybe it's a little like a high school reunion. You are also a little nervous. Everyone looks older, and you feel like everyone be looking at you and be aware that you're older, but also everyone is also thinking maybe they still look pretty good, and the high school reunion won't go so badly. I was very aware of his sense of loyalty, you know, not only to the actors, but to the other crew members and creative team that he had. You know, there's many of the same people that were in the first one are also involved in the second one. So there was a good family feeling about returning to the movie.
Did you miss Will Smith on set? Do you guys still keep in touch?
He's such a terrible person, you know. I'm so glad not to. He is a very mischievous guy, very fun guy. I was doing, we call them phoners, you know. There's sometimes you get on the phone with people in small towns all around America, and you have a series of interviews, and you have to usually wake up very early in the morning and start that because you're on the West Coast and on the East Coast. They're in the middle of their live broadcasting. So I was talking to someone from, I think, Arizona, and he said, so, you know, I just want you to know, it's great, nice to talk to you now, Bill, but I've got an old friend of yours here, and he wants to say hello. And the guy gets on, he sounds just like Will Smith. And he says, hey, Bill, I was doing promotion for another movie, and I wanted to, and I said, you're very good because you sound so much like Will. And he goes, no, it really, and then I realized, it is Will. And he, in the middle of his junket for another movie, wanted to kind of stay on the line, so he stopped promoting his movie so he could talk to me on the phone on this show. So he's a terrific guy. And so it would have been nice to have his company again on this, but I think he understood that at this stage of his movie career, the movie would all be about Will Smith, and the sense of it being an ensemble movie is very important, and so I think he'll be curious to see how it all comes out.
Nice. What's the main difference between the first movie and the sequel?
Well, the difference between the first movie and the sequel, I think there's quite a bit more ambition in the second movie. I think as much as a multi-narrative that it was, you know, it follows many different characters, and in the first one. The second one, I think, increases that, almost doubles it in the number of stories that have to be followed and characters that have to be developed, and also it's also larger in the sense of scale, so that the perspectives that we have on the world now are some from far out in the universe, and so I think there's actually quite a few differences.
Do you believe that alien life exists somewhere in the universe?
Well, I think, you know, the idea of alien life happening now is probably difficult to imagine, but I was just reading these scientists who have done the math, and they say the likelihood that there have been alien cultures in the past is very high. So maybe that's enough to know that they could have existed, and whether they do exist now, I think it's not so important.
Looks like someone picked up the phone and answered.
A distress call. They're coming back.
That is definitely Bigger than the last one.
To all of you followers of CinePOP, you better get out there and watch us kick some alien butt.